See Charles Hoskinson, the founder and creator of Cardano, going off on the SEC talking about why Bitcoin gets a pass and Cardano doesn't. Check out the clip. What's your thoughts?
The difference between the two. Tell me, is there an expectation of return with the goddamn orange pill moon boys? It's there. There's so many different planks and angles that you can take a look at this thing from. And by the way, if you subpoena an attack about 3 different entities, you could perform a 51% attack on Bitcoin because that's the way the hash power works. But it's decentralized, apparently. And Team Orange gets a complete pass. It's a pathetic joke. It's an absolutely pathetic joke.
And there you have it with Charles Hoskinson. Does Charles have a point, or is Charles just one of those founders that can't get past the fact that Bitcoin has already been regulated, stating that it's a commodity? He seemed to be in his feelings, but leave your comments below. And with that, what's happening, Crypto Crew? Sean's coming back at you. Getting straight into it, we're taking a look at the Bitcoin price chart. The current time of this recording, Bitcoin's coming in right around 39,000. And looking at this price action, it's looking pretty bullish for Bitcoin. So we got to look at a few things here. You got to see that we came into this with a bullish momentum. We came into this triangle pattern. We've just been putting in higher lows and higher lows. This is a bullish continuation pattern. So the way this theoretically should work out is we come into it, trade, hit our head, hold support, and then blast out and continue to the upside. Now we have to be patient because Bitcoin is holding above the 20 moving average. Everything's looking very bullish. There's a lot of bullish momentum. There's a lot of people talking for the next leg up. Now, are we going to get that blast up to the next leg? Time will definitely tell. You have to be patient. The levels to pay attention to, zooming into this price action, you have to pay attention to this $38,000 level. If we get one of these daily candle closes above it, as you see multiple times, we hit our head once, 2, 3 times, 4 and 5 times. The current time it's recording, we're sitting right there. You know what they say, the more you knock on the door, eventually you're going to break through it. We're getting into this apex region. Are we going to see a blast up or a blast down? You have to be patient. Now, if we break structure and this breaks down, when you start to put in lower highs, then Bitcoin is going to cool off along with the rest of the market going into the new year. So this is something to pay attention to. There's a lot of bullishness in the market. Crypto Fear and Greed Index is in greed. As you see, we've been in greed. So the market is extremely greedy. Do we got to knock some people off their high horses? And is Bitcoin going to cool off so this can tick back down? Looking at this price action, this seems pretty bullish, but we have to pay attention to this uptrend. This uptrend is important, and this $38,000 level is definitely important. Looking at the RSI below, we're still putting in higher highs and higher lows. We have to pay attention here. The next level to pay attention to is this 45 level. If Bitcoin comes back down and breaks this 45 level, it could mean that it's time for us to cool off. The market is too overheated. We have to come back down, probably break below this, and then have a continuation to the downside to reset the RSI. But right now, by December 4th, we should get a decisive move, whether that's to the upside or downside. Once again, this is a bullish continuation pattern more times than not. An update from Peter Schiff. He's saying gold is on the verge of a historic breakout and the US dollar is on the verge of a historic crash. This will be a game changer for the Fed and the economy as it will send inflation, interest rates, and unemployment soaring. Forget about a soft landing. It's a crash and burn. This has been shown like every time the yield curve inverts, what comes next? Unemployment. Is inflation going to have an uptick? We will see. Taking a look at the alt market cap, we're seeing that we are just putting in higher highs and higher lows. At the current time this recording, we are getting some type of resistance to this upper resistance level, but also this Gaussian channel. This resistance level and Gaussian channel is acting as resistance. So are we going to get a cool off and come back down, maybe to retest this midline before gearing up to come back up and potentially break out of this? So this is something that you want to pay attention to. As you see, we've been putting in higher highs and higher lows per the RSI as well. And looking at these RSI, if we just draw a line here, we see that we have came and we have hit our head multiple times. Right here, then we had a retracement. Right here, then we had a retracement. Right here, then we had a retracement. And we just hit our head. And right now we're getting squeezed up by this 200 moving average. If we fall through this, we could come back down to the $370 billion range, meaning that the alt market isn't ready to rally yet. It needs to come down and reset and probably put in a higher low once again before it ramps back up going into the halving. So keep this in mind. Total 3 minus USD, this sort of goes hand in hand with what we just showed you. Taking a look at this, this could be just trading in this downwards falling wedge. Coming down here, boom, we keep hitting our head on this 20 moving average. Could we come back down here? This will put us closer to this apex region and also the Bitcoin halving. So could we see that breakout, flip resistance to support before we having that blast off? That's when the alt season will be had. There's a lot of noise about Solana. Is Solana going to have a continuation, or are we going to have a cool off? Well, looking at the 5 Elliott waves, we could be seeing this 1, 2. This could be the third leg. We could be due for a fourth leg pullback. How long will this happen until Solana has a continuation? Well, time will tell, but looks like the market is overbought. And looking at this trend line, remember the trend's your friend till the end. And this resistance level, or this support line, we bounced off it once, twice, 3, 4, and right now it could be falling through this. So is Solana going to make one more run up before having a cool off going into Q1 of 2024? Keep this in mind as well. There might be a time for a reset. This is still a bull market, so it's a buying opportunity. Arthur Hayes is weighing in on geopolitical relations between the United States and China, and he's saying they're sort of friends again. How does this newfound love translate into stacking sats? Well, looky here. On the micro, Hong Kong is China's window to the global capital markets. SOEs and wealthy Chinese people are all banked out of Hong Kong for any international dealings. Hong Kong now has a fully licensed crypto exchanges and brokers where Bitcoin can be purchased. He would know this. I believe he lives in Hong Kong. Bitcoin is a Chinese phenomenon. Many of the largest Bitcoin miners started their operations in China pre-2020. When the Bitcoin over the CNY trading pairs were available, Chinese clients dominated spot trading flows. Any wealthy coastal Chinese person knows about Bitcoin and its promise as a store of value. They have watched this currency from its infancy until the current moment and have been active participants in its success. So with that, if there's any way to legally move cash to mainland China to Hong Kong, Bitcoin will be one of those risk-on assets. Look at the macro. He's saying, given that the dollar is the world's largest funding currency, if the price of credit falls, all fixed supply assets like Bitcoin, gold, real estate, and such will rise in dollar fiat terms, meaning more inflation. The great part about this macro pillar of bullishness is that it doesn't require Chinese firms and wealthy individuals to buy any Bitcoin at all. The fungible nature of global fiat credit will dictate that the marginal fiat dollar will flow into hard monetary assets like Bitcoin. So it's seeming pretty bullish for 2024. Nothing like an election year to force optical change. The number one job of any politician is to get reelected. Democratic Party will do whatever it takes, and they have to show the willingness to do so by placing former President Trump arrest to remain the top dog. Now, this is a big thing to pay attention to, just because he's right. The Democratic Party is going to do whatever they want to win, and because they have so much hatred towards Donald Trump, they're going to do anything, even if it is printing money or some type of quantitative easing. They might not call it that. They might come out with a different name, but either way, they might try to stimulate the economy to make everybody feel a little bit richer. So keep this in mind. And we'll leave you with this. The Bitcoin dominance is on an uptrend, once again, above 53%, and just steadily putting in higher highs and higher lows, stair-stepping its way up. Are we going to see a blast off for new all-time highs over the next few weeks for the Bitcoin dominance? This is what you have to pay attention to. The trend's your friend till the end, and the RSI is still intact. The level to pay attention to is that 54.25 level. That's what we have to get past. If Bitcoin blasts past that, we could see a run up to new all-time highs, and not just the price action for 2023, 2024, but also the dominance. And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate the support. That's all I have for you today, and I'm out.